All right, everybody. Welcome back to No Quarter Podcast.
Idaho's #1 podcast.
Episode number 25.
It's got such a ring to it. The #1 podcast.
It does. We're going to get there. I mean, we already are. It's science.
In my mind.
It's settled science.
It's
flat
as
earth science.
It's as scientific as the
science.
pandemic.
Yeah. It is.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Hey,
What are we doing?
doing.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy week for me, and it's only fucking Wednesday.
Yeah,
Or what is this? Yeah, this is Wednesday.
You're going through it. And I know that that's intriguing. We're not going to tell the audience basically anything about that.
No, but dude, just with everything else that's going on with the Trump administration's making waves, man.
Yeah, dude. We were just talking about that before you got in here. Like, what was it? Elon uncovered 1 million 120-year-old plus people still collecting on
Wild.
Social Security.
Bro,
Bro.
I read somewhere that the oldest person was 390 or something. It's
that makes sense. Like somebody just found a social security number. Well, no,
must have, or he
Couldn't
was
have.
getting Social Security and they just never
Well,
cut,
no.
cut it off.
That wouldn't even make sense because there was no social security numbers that long ago. So I don't even know how that works out.
What's crazy, because
idea.
I've been getting kind of arguments with people online about Trump seriously went and cut some federal employees, 250,000 probational employees, and people are like, it's fucking cruel and it's this and it's that. And I'm like, dude, it was going to happen.
And let's be
It was a brand new administration coming on board. If you got hired through the Build Back Better program,
yeah,
those were all of our fucking overwasted taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
Hiring these people. And with every administration change, there's always a shakeup. Always.
And let's be clear, you are not entitled to being employed by the government.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I'm
You're
like,
just not.
did
Sorry,
you guys
I don't
all
feel
think
bad
it was
about saying
cruel and
it.
unusual punishment when the fucking pipeline workers and everybody got fired during COVID because they refused to take a fucking vaccine?
Right.
Go fuck
Or how about
yourselves.
the military members?
Exactly.
People who were trying to serve honorably. And okay,
What
look,
really
I mean,
spins them
I'm
up,
sure
though-
that there were some bad dudes in that group that got let go. But
Primo.
generally speaking,
What's funny though
Shots
is
fired.
what fires them up is, dude, if you fucking throw a shot across their bow and they're like, dude, you tell them, bro, he's doing exactly what I voted him to do.
yeah.
And they're getting twisted.
Well, and also, it's why are you surprised?
Well, make better choices.
Fuck the federal
exactly.
government completely. That's my thing. It's why are you surprised?
Bro, we
Right.
could be fucking living like Dubai.
Fuck the feds.
They fucking rape us. Dude, they haven't even got there. Dude, Trump was saying last night, did you guys watch the Hannity show?
No.
So Elon and Trump had an exclusive interview with Hannity on Fox, and it aired last night. Dude, they asked Trump, they're asking Elon, well, how much do you think that you've uncovered so far? And he's like, dude, trillions of dollars, 1 point something trillion.
And he's just started.
And he just started. And
Yeah.
so then they look, Hannity asked Trump, well, how far do you think it goes? Or how deep do you think it goes? And Trump's looks at Hannity, looks at fucking Elon, and he was like,
all the way.
we're not even at 1% of where we think this is going to go. And I was like, what the fuck?
I love that though, dude.
So,
Because
dude, they're
he's
gonna
just it's almost at a disregard for his own well-being. He's just
Bro,
let's just dig.
the greatest thing about this, Trump told everybody what he was going to do, what his plans were. People jumped on and voted in a huge margin for this. It's such a small group of people that are making waves. And dude, it goes so deep. Once they dig more into this, the Democrats are fucked up, dude. They were fucking funneling a lot of this shit back into their own campaigns.
I'm sure a bunch of these Build Back Better firees, they're probably complaining because they got into a job that they knew was going to be cush.
Yeah.
Federal benefits, lifetime this and that, easy money. I'm only going to work 2 hours of my 8-hour day.
You own a business.
Dude.
You own a business. I own a business. We have to make a payroll and a fucking budget every month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
If things slip, we have to go around and start making fucking cuts.
Yeah, you don't just get to write it off.
You don't get to just print
What was
money.
that?
I'm going to write it off.
What was that Schitt's Creek thing?
Who?
Yeah.
Who are you going to
What's a
write it
write-off?
off to? I don't know.
Who writes it off? I don't know, the write-off guy.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking wild. And we are paying taxes. And dude, so Sherry sends me something. She's like, are you listening to Fox on your way to work? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, did you hear the Elon dividends? So now, dude, they want to what they've uncovered right now.
Okay.
They want to give everybody $5,000. Everybody in the country, $5,000 just on what they've uncovered now as a dividend. The money
How about
that
they just cancel tax season?
Dude, I honestly
Cancel
I
taxes
fucking need that this
2024.
year.
I honestly wish they would until they get to the bottom of everything. I don't think anybody should fucking pay
Dude,
their
I'm
taxes.
I'm getting ready to file an extension just so I can like wait and see if something's gonna happen.
My tax guy files me an extension every year, no matter what, because I'm always late to get him everything.
Yeah.
So it works in my favor.
I think
But,
that they just do that for businesses though. They always.
I
do
mean, my
that.
personal even. I'm just like
Oh.
anything that needs to be taken care of.
I wish I
expect
actually
that-
had a personal, but we're a S corp, so everything flows through me. So you pay less tax that way. I apparently.
Yeah, you own the shares of your company.
Yeah, which is so whatever the company makes, I look like I make on paper, and
Wait, so
we
you
just get destroyed.
Oh, you're an S corp, not a
S
C corp.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So C corp, I guess you get double taxed, or there's a bigger.
Well, the company gets taxed because it's its own legal
yeah.
entity.
So we're S, but dude, I
You should try an
honestly,
F corp.
I just wish everybody would just be like, we're not paying taxes.
Fuck.
F the government.
Fuck everyone. Corporation.
I don't know. I voted for him.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that we did because we're going to uncover a lot of things. 4 years, I don't think is going to be enough time to get to the bottom of everything, especially when they try to keep slowing him down. But the courts are slapping him down, telling him that Elon could go in there.
Yeah.
Dude, what people don't realize,
So many people
bro,
are
Elon
trying
has
to sue
the
Doge.
toppest security clearance, the very top security clearance that
Already.
anybody can have.
He had to already because of
all
SpaceX.
the other shit. So
So he had
People are crying about
pre-existing
nothing.
clearances because of SpaceX.
yeah,
I am glad that they shut down the Cybertruck purchase from him.
I don't
He-
think they did. No, that was not even Trump. That
That
was
was-
fucking Biden.
No, I
Dude,
know that, but I'm
oh, yeah.
glad that
Donald
it got
Trump
shut down because
did
I don't
not-
think he should be.
Everybody's like,
benefiting.
look at this contract that they gave him. Like, this
yeah,
is
it's
so
from the Biden
hypocritical.
administration.
That was a Biden contract.
Yeah.
So everyone that's complaining about it can suck it because
But
that
I-
is
I will say I do see an inherent problem with someone
Conflict.
that's so wealthy,
sure.
having so much skin in the game to make money off the government, being in charge of the.
Bro, we
finding money
just
in the
left
government.
astronauts in space and said, fuck you, get your own way back, basically.
And he went and got him.
he's going to get them.
Or is going
they
to get
launched
them.
this next week to
Yeah.
go get them. Like they
Like
left
SpaceX, a private entity,
is
going to
go
rescue astronauts on the ISS because we are publicly owned organizations can no longer go get them. Think about
it's
that.
wild, dude. Our taxpayers send them
crazy.
up there and then we leave them.
I
Dude,
mean,
they've been up there for fucking like 400 days now when they were only supposed to be up there for like a week.
Yeah.
so they're probably really like hungry.
They're probably fucking pissed off at their
Space-
government
Space
that they left them.
Space isn't real, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, space isn't real.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Dude,
man.
it
A
was
lot of
wild.
shit's
wish
going on.
we
I
get
love
him
it.
on.
Yeah.
I wish we could get a flat earther on this fucking show.
Yeah. Did you ever invite what's his face?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he just didn't.
What are you
respond.
exactly inviting me to do?
like to argue about
debate
flat Earth?
publicly.
Though I think we talked about this before, but so after that episode where we were talking about that, I was like, okay, honest is self-evaluation. I had never really given any real time
To flat Earth.
to flat Earth. So I decided I'm gonna go into this with an open mind.
Oh my goodness.
And so
How many hours did you waste on this?
He got 5 minutes in and was like, fucking
No.
No.
He not this guy. No.
Way
He
too-
probably stayed up all night long. His wife's like, "Are you coming to bed?" And he's like, "No,
Nope.
I got to get
That's
to the
exactly
end of this
what
I'm
flat
coming
Earth."
right here
Wait.
because I'm busy.
way too many hours. I read so many articles. I
Oh
went to
my
so many
goodness.
different websites. I tried to find the most credible flat Earth sources of knowledge that I could possibly find, and this is the result.
It took him right back to
I
Old State Saloon.
came out of that research frenzy thinking that flat earthers are far more retarded than I thought before.
That's the thing. I didn't do quite that kind of footwork, but I have watched all the YouTube documentaries.
Bro, he went on
about
YouTube and they're like before cameras were color and TVs. Dude, I could see it now.
I'm telling you, dude. I don't think the Earth is round anymore.
Oh
now,
man.
the things that
hot
they,
dog
the
shaped.
things that they complain about, I will give them. I think that a lot of the NASA broadcasts are green screened.
Yeah.
I think all of the videos or the evidence of the original space exploration from the 60s was all done on a soundstage.
Yep.
It's undeniable.
Well,
However,
I think the CIA was involved in a lot of that because it was
For sure.
dude, it was all
for sure.
propaganda.
And when you look at the video footage now,
Like
it's,
he's hanging from a cord.
it's well, he's like holding up his tether, like his like oxygen tether, and every time he drops it, it just falls.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would have
It's
never.
it's comically bad.
Yep.
But there are undeniable ways to prove that we have been to the moon in some capacity. Now, whether or not it lines up with the original story,
So wait, what are those undeniable?
you can. This is a.
Can you see the man on the moon?
This is an experiment that you can do now. There are reflectors on the moon, that you can shoot a signal to and it will reflect back to you.
We just went up there and put them there.
I don't whatever capacity they got put there, whether or not it was by manned exploration or not, we've been there. So
I mean, we have a robot on Mars,
and that's my point.
So why
and a lot of
couldn't
people will say that's fake too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people say that that's all just like moonscape from like Nevada.
To be honest with you, hey, so
Could be.
when you were growing up, like right when you're doing science class and things, dude, I never really was intrigued by any outer space exploration.
Oh,
None of the
man.
pictures or the planets, none of that stuff really. Like I wanted to do like biology.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to do more human, or when you did the dissecting of frogs and
I'm
science.
far too
but
interested
I never
in the
gave
planet
a
we
shit
live
about
on.
I want to know about right here.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck about what's up there.
I'm still pretty sure the statement I said a few episodes ago is true, that we know more about outer space than we do the bottom of the ocean.
Maybe. I don't know if that's true or not. But
The pressures are just so
it's
immense
crazy.
going down deep like
They
that.
did release, remember that the Xbox controller thing people went under the ocean with and it got crushed by the weight of
Yeah, dude, they're fucking
yeah.
now just coming
Well,
out with a black box and all the recordings on
they
that
found
too.
so there's a
They found the wreckage of it?
no, so the whoever the fuck has microphones in the ocean at like random points.
Oh, they
And you
were
can hear just
yeah,
like a
yeah.
it's just like a tiny little blip of a noise, and like that
That was
matches
it.
the timestamp
Yep.
of lost communication.
Yeah. It's
So-
wild, dude.
Well,
I never really cared about outer space. I don't know what the intriguing part of it is for Elon. I get he wants to launch his own fucking.
Well, he wants to terraform Mars. I mean,
I have no.
cool.
If I could afford it, I would not
Did you say
even
we're
want
gonna
to
put
do
a
it.
tariff on Mars?
no, he wants
I
to
think we should.
he wants to terraform Mars.
I
would
get
like to
why he
terraform
would like
Mars.
to
he
have.
wants to start creating an ecosystem that will give Mars its atmosphere back and then allow for water, oxygen, like a gaseous atmosphere.
I can-
Eventually being able
I can
to populate
understand the satellites because he's launching a lot of satellites. The Starlink is a great idea.
it. Mhm.
Like all those communicational things, I totally get because there's money and all that. Like big money.
Okay, so for range day,
Rabbit trail.
Yes, I have 2 Starlinks.
okay, could we piggyback off one of them somehow?
Yeah, so I have the big one, I have the mini, and then Justin will have his also. So
Oh,
we'll have
Justin.
3.
Okay, because I was cause talking about running a business and running budgets and shit. I want to cut our hotspot because it's like we pay
get rid of
100. Okay,
That's why I bought it. I bought it for range day or any outdoor event that we do, so everybody can get on it.
Okay, so what
Now
were we
I don't
talking
know
about?
that we can mesh the networks to get a huge. But what's going to happen is I'll put the big one.
Yeah.
So the big one, and so the big one's got a huge dish like this, and then the modem is like this big.
Yeah, so it'll.
So
send a
I'm going to put the
signal.
modem on the very top of my trailer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It should cover everything.
Okay.
It should
should
cover
cover
the
a
whole
lot.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
And then
I can,
we'll put another one at the very end, the mini on top of the Connex box.
Yeah.
And then Justin will have his. Now I don't know that we can mesh them. That's something I've been looking at to make one network.
Yeah, but I could sign into whichever.
but you can
one's
sign
stronger.
into all
Okay.
of them. And we'll have one that's open for everybody.
Cool.
to
All
get
right.
on.
Well, thank you. That's all. I don't remember what we were talking about at all.
We're talking about space. That's
We're
fine.
talking about going to outer space, and I have zero interest. But I just don't see the allure. Of,
I don't have
like,
any interest either. Like flying is cool. I think it would be
Flying
cool.
is fucking
like
not
being
cool.
like flying is cool. Like going into like a U2 like spy plane and like going
something like that. But
going
I
up
have
to like
no-
70,000 feet. I would totally be down for that. But I have zero interest in.
I have
in
nothing
leaving
where you
the
get
atmosphere.
outside of that, where you possibly could go to
I don't-
point of no return.
I don't want the possibility of burning up on re-entry. That's what terrifies me. It's like, no, I'll just stay within the borders.
Yeah.
Like, this is why borders are important.
Build a wall. Build a wall.
I don't know, but man, there's so many like positive things. I'm so excited about 2025, right? I know the economy still isn't roaring back like it needs to be, and everybody wants to have these.
Well, it's
You
not.
know,
It's not a
look at the
flip.
egg
It's not a
prices, look at the
switchy
beef
flip.
prices, look at all this shit. Obviously, it's not gonna fuck, dude. It's been 4 weeks, it's been a month, like 2 months now or whatever. Like it's not gonna come back. You know what? January 20th.
What's
Yeah,
our
I was doing
national?
math.
What's our national debt at?
Trillions?
I
Like
know,
30
it's like-
trillion or some stupid
Is it
shit.
30?
It's like 20, 29, 26
find out right
trillion.
now.
But it's fucking a lot.
But it's crazy that he's been able to uncover already $1 trillion in wasted spending.
Yeah, and we're not even scratching the surface. I mean, so there's so many good things.
So there should be no reason for us to have a national debt then. If 1%, and I think that was probably like
But
some
I don't know,
sort of
but
like,
they're still saying even with, we got to figure out what it costs to run the country. And that's what I think he's trying to get to the bottom of.
yeah. What is
You
what
have
is
to
our
find out
actual
what our
overhead?
net, like what our overhead
What's our
is.
real overhead?
Dude, and we're spending millions and millions of dollars on buildings that are not even occupied by federal workers.
Yeah.
Get
the
rid
national
of them. Sell
debt is $36.22 trillion.
That's crazy.
So we need to get to the bottom of what it's going to take to run the country.
I saw something on Instagram saying that there's going to be like 5 trillionaires in the next 20 years. Trillionaires.
They're all going to be fucking.
And the way they
Saudis.
compared that amount of wealth is that like you could buy every single professional sports team in every sport in the world like multiple times over and still have like $30 billion in the bank.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah. Well,
So-
like Elon Musk could literally buy everyone a 3-bedroom house in the entire
I
country.
love that argument too. When everybody's
He
like,
really
"Oh, well,
could. I'm not
Elon
saying
could
he
just
should.
give everybody money." It's like, dude, fuck you.
No, he
I'm
could.
not
He
saying
fucking
he-
worked for his like what you're gonna like. Fuck.
Yeah, he
liberals are
shouldn't.
stupid
I'm not a
people.
socialist
They're fucking dumb.
at all. But he could.
I don't think that's true.
Elon Musk is a billionaire.
I'm well aware of what
400
that
billion.
means. But
Fuck, that's so much money.
Or some shit.
all right,
like
I'm
it's
going
a
to do
lot.
the math real quick. You guys talk about something else.
We
Don't
can't.
talk about
We're going to
it.
wait
down
for the
the-
math.
I'll
Going
bring the
down
math
the
back.
rabbit
All
hole.
right.
Well, don't take too long
Oh.
trying to work around it. You could just ask.
Hey,
ChatGPT.
stop the bleed though. We've got people asking about stop the bleed. So
Yeah.
hey, it is on the calendar. If you guys listened to the last podcast, I had some messages in my private DMs. I think we've got a few with everybody else. We are definitely doing this stop the bleed. It's going to be May 17th here at SimShot. We are going to make this worth your while. Obviously, there's going to be a cost associated with the class. I'm going to reach out to some of my suppliers, depending on how many people we have in the class. I'm going to put a trauma kit together, and I'm going to make it very affordable for everybody that actually shows up to the class.
Yeah, and
So-
I think looking at it, if we can, I mean, we're not trying to price gouge it because, you know, bleeding control classes you could find online for $15, you know, $20. But obviously we have overhead, we have a business, but also we're not going to supply you with an hour-long class. This is going to be probably like a 4 to 6 hour class of practical application, like an actual bleeding control class.
Yeah, and if you haven't ever taken one before, man, they're awesome. You're getting
really
real
is.
hands-on, stopping the bleed. Like you're going through, you know, obviously there's the classroom portion of it that sometimes gets a little boring, but it's actually really exciting to learn how to put on the gear, a tourniquet,
Yeah.
stop the bleed, reach your hands into things, stop the bleed.
Mhm.
You're going to learn a lot
Finding
from it.
arteries that are just,
Yeah, you're going to learn a lot from it.
yeah, blood eagles and everything. We were watching the blood eagle from what is that motherfucking show? Vikings. And shit, that's crazy. But yeah, no, stop the bleed is really important. Bleeding control is really important. We're doing it in May, which is Stop the Bleed month, which is awesome.
Oh,
so
okay.
you know, that kind of goes in tune with Stop the Bleed month. Hopefully that's just getting people motivated to do it. And then the one thing that people can ask themselves right now is, are they truly prepared and can they actually save their kids from bleeding to death if they were?
Yeah.
And like I always think about it all the time.
Elon could give everybody in the country $1,000.
I call cap.
He's worth 394 billion. There's roughly 394 million people.
Yeah, but that counts like kids, and I mean,
He could give everybody in the country $1,000.
that's why it's rude to have 10 kids.
I'm just saying. So this whole thing, like
You
he could buy
greedy
everyone a
motherfucker.
house, is a fallacy.
Well,
No, so hey, let's
'cause
get
math.
back to this just real quick, and then we'll get back to Elon because he's a pretty interesting character, actually.
What are we talking about? Stop the bleed.
No, stop the bleed. So where
Oh,
can
yeah,
you
what's
find
the
this
date?
at
May 17th.
I think I'm going.
you guys
to,
can sign
I'm
up
going to be
at
there as like as an
simshot.com.
adjunct instructor.
Yeah, I
Right?
would love it if you'd come. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much money we can pay you or anything, but it'd be,
You don't got to pay me anything. I'll come.
But,
I'll come and teach for free.
But yeah, so we're not trying to price gouge. We're gonna price it to be very fair. It hasn't gone live on the website yet. I have a graphic I need to make before it can be uploaded to the website. Once it's done, I'll do that. But I was busy doing mailing.
What's the
list
price
stuff
of
for
this class
Josh.
going to be?
I don't know. I'd have to talk to Nick and make sure we understand because we have to supply so much. We have to supply enough like gauze and
Yeah.
fake blood and all that stuff. So I'll talk to Nick and see where we're going to cap it. But the question and I think you've even heard me say this, but imagine being a parent.
There. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just like imagine being a parent and like loving your kids to death, but then not being able to stop blood from flowing from their body and just
Call 911. They'll be there in a short amount of time.
7 minutes.
7 to 9 minutes.
And how quick do humans bleed out if you get like a really big artery?
That's like a minute and a half. 2
And what
minutes.
about if you're freaking out?
Oh, well, your heart rate's higher. So your
Right.
blood pressure's higher.
So we're talking, you get a minute. You get a minute. And what kind of parent would just stand there and look at their kid bleeding out and not know what to do? You know?
Bad
so,
one.
Probably.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
listen, if you have kids especially, you need to sign the fuck up for a class like this Because if you are taking your kid out for a bike ride and he gets hit by a car and has a compound fracture that hits his femoral or you know,
Dude,
you
the other
have
thing
to
is
know
too
this stuff.
is CPR. Dude, do you know how many kids drowned every year in a pool? And then parents don't even know how to freaking
we can cover that. We'll cover that in the class as well. It's a really rapid thing to teach people how to do just bystander CPR. I don't need to go through all of the ifs, ands, or buts. Like I can teach a person how to do effective CPR really rapidly.
Yeah, it's not hard.
It can be a 10-minute section of the class. We'll spend more time.
I'm excited about it, dude. I think these classes and things that are evolving around SimShot is like really things that need to be done. It'd be so cool to like actually franchise the facility, like, you know, the setup that you guys have here, and do one in Sacramento. You know what I mean? And we talked about this before on the podcast where it didn't work out too well for a guy in Sacramento. He tried this. I don't know. Did you ever hear this story? He before we really started knowing each other, like he was like, hey, let me ask you some business advice. What do you think about this? And he's running the idea of SimShot by me. And basically I shit on him. I'm like, dude, that's a terrible idea.
I mean, you were
I was being honest just off of what I knew from the guy. And you know what? Everybody that opens up a business, there's different facets to that.
Sure.
Not everybody's built to own a business.
Right.
And the dude over there actually had a lot of money in Fair Oaks, and it failed miserably.
Well,
but he's not you, he's not me, he's not you.
And here's the thing:
and you got to be a go-getter if you want to.
And
own
the SimShot model has evolved a lot over time.
It has.
Like,
oh my god,
it went from just being a sim room to you guys being like a full-blown instructing outfit.
Yeah,
like, and that's really why it's been successful.
Yeah,
not just having a screen to.
I think you know where I can see this going. You know, like. One, you managing the whole thing, and I know you love being on the range, but start getting.
I would hope so. He owns the thing.
No, but
I actually let Nick do a lot more of the managing than you think.
No, but I'm saying you facilitate all the big trainers to come through you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like I could see how that could be something of value. To SimShot and the other trainers that own their own businesses, but basically. You're hosting them. You're doing all the financials for them.
You build the network.
You're building the network, and then it grows into this, you know, massive.
We have a lot of 5-year plans, and I mean, honestly, like I'm so beyond lucky that Nick is my business partner. He holds it all together so much better than I do.
Well, you guys are very yin and yang.
Yeah, he is so much more like rational. He's way better at scheduling and attention. Whereas I'm just like,
if I can clone Steve at my Spark store, oh my goodness. Like, it's
like SimShot
heaven.
Like me and Nick are 50-50 in the business, but like there's no possible reality where this would have worked without him. At all. Because people would just be like, I have an appointment at noon. I'll just be like, well, I'm in California right now. That's rough. Sorry. Like I'm so bad, dude. Like I double book, like tomorrow or Thursday, I have a meeting with the USCCA, a guy coming to check the facility for a church training, and then something else that I was committed to at 1 p.m., all happening at 1 p.m. And that's just because they came to me and asked me questions. And I was like, oh yeah, we're good. We'll make that work.
You better stop that. You better get Nick on all of them. Call Nick. Call Nick.
I trust him with scheduling. I mean, like literally his conversation string and text message to my wife is like, is this date free?
They're running your life for you.
Yeah.
They really are. It's just like Nick will say like, we're doing this, and this these days. And Eric will say
this
this
true,
day
though. I have
work.
to actually ask Sherry, hey, what are we doing this weekend? Like what's going on? Like I don't even know.
We're pretty good about, we've got a shared calendar, and the things that we need to keep each other apprised of, like it goes on that calendar. So it blocks the time and
I
day
should
and all
probably
that
do
kind
that.
of stuff.
I mean, we have so much technology now.
It's great. My wife, I mean, everything goes on there.
Well, she's a school teacher, so she's probably like,
yeah, she's very
lesson plans.
Like organization is like a turn on for her.
Yeah.
So
you know what you should do?
What?
You should go home and organize something.
I cleaned the kitchen today. I
didn't say clean, bro. I said organize.
Hey, that's clean.
You should go to like Walmart or Target on the way home and just get some like paper things to stack and just put some papers in it and then just stand there and look at her and shake your head.
Naked.
That's right. You see all these papers? I got blue paper, yellow paper, and white paper right here organized.
It's so funny.
It's funny. My wife's the same way though. She really digs organization and like cleanliness and stuff. And like I think having kids and dogs like literally is the
it's chaos.
It's just like,
well, we were talking about buying like nice leather couches like this for our house. And I was like, that's got to be after they are.
Yeah, wait till they're teenagers.
Dude, Sherry was so mad that I bought these for my gun vault.
Oh, dude, these.
And then I
awesome.
took them out of there and brought them over here. She's like, they're just going to get ruined. I'm like, that's exactly why I bought really soft ones, really expensive. See how that chair? That chair is breaking in nicely.
Look at that.
This is a
leather
this
looks
is
better
just-
when it's patinaed.
Oh, I know, dude. And these are so comfortable.
Dude,
And we haven't even.
we just talked about it. Like my dream, like if we had a room twice this big, and then put the couch somewhere else and had 4 of those chairs
Oh,
in a cross,
dude, RC Willie, bro.
That's you got
there's-
these from RC Willie.
These are RC Willie.
Dude, these are so nice.
These were
Yeah.
expensive. This was like $5,000. This
I
set.
believe that.
And we haven't even
Maybe more, I don't
treated
know.
them.
And she was, oh yeah, she was super pissed. You're gonna fucking buy those for your gun vault, and then you're letting the dog all up on him, and I'm like standing them
can
on.
still see all
Dude,
the
I
way.
was that's
Yeah.
all from Trigger right there. But I was standing on them, like putting guns on the wall, in my gun vault.
did the
She's like,
same
"What are you
thing.
doing?" And I'm like, "Gotta break them in."
Well, the whole point. So like we have
The only thing that would make these better, just real quick, is if they swiveled. You know what I mean? If they had a swivel base.
Could you imagine how fucking loud I would be if I had a swiveling chair?
Yeah,
I'm-
Jeremy would drive me crazy.
I am having
his microphone would just be like,
Yeah, just go. I am having legitimate anxiety problems right now. I was staring off into space when you guys were talking earlier because I was freaking out in my head because I have this here. I have nowhere to put it and I want to click it so bad.
oh, here, give it to me. I'll take it away from you.
Oh, I gotta order some of those today, actually.
But now I feel weird that it's not in my hand.
Huh?
I need something else.
Deal with it.
But yeah, no, so I have like crazy fidgeting problems.
Oh, I thought that was the other gun. The
Oh, the grip keeper.
grip. Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
ordering
it's
a
just
few of
got
those today.
a dry fire
Such a
mag in
great-
it.
Yeah, but that does have a dry fire mag, and that is also a sick ass product.
It is definitely a awesome here.
Yeah. Oh, that noise is fucking
It's,
orgasmic
it's
for
so
me.
satisfying.
So, and really, shout out to Dry Fire Mag. Sponsor us, it'd be great. But I think they're really small still. I'm not sure. Great product. I mean, you get one of those little tiny laser drop-ins and put it in, and boop boop, it just shoots a little laser on the wall with that. Oh, it's oof. So good.
This guy.
I just want people to train, man. That's awesome.
Oh, and you know what, dude? I'm gonna miss your 22nd class. I totally thought I was
got
gonna be able to
canceled.
because you're gonna go, right?
No, it got canceled.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
why?
It's so we had
It canceled.
well,
Yeah.
It's not. Yes, it's canceled, but it's more of a rescheduled. So we ended up getting something secured for the morning that we had to bump it to 1 p.m. to start.
Oh,
And every single person, but Josh and his wife, rescheduled for March's class. So do you want? I can
No.
have Corey come talk to you guys.
No, it's all good.
well,
I have to
I
pay him
forgot.
$200 for it.
I forgot that I was going to McCall over the weekend. So,
Oh, perfect.
but
Come to the March one then.
yeah,
There you
for
go.
sure.
But yeah, hopefully that doesn't put a wrench in your guys' gear so much. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I hate it too.
I'm hoping we'll be able to both make it for the March date. I just don't know yet.
Just block
Would you
it off
double
now.
book?
We weren't double booked.
Oh.
They just deprioritized us.
Really, that's kind of what it came down to. We had an opportunity to train with a very, very large church that had a very specific time frame
okay,
available.
I got you. Yeah.
And it was like, we got to lock them up. We cannot let that one away. We need them to come train because that's an additional huge chunk of money every quarter.
Local.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So that leaves us really with
There's only like one really huge church. So I'm sure
that's
it's
the
the
next
one I'm thinking of.
no, it's not that one that starts with an R.
Oh,
Yeah, no, but this one's massive. They're just homeless right now. They don't have like a church finish built.
oh, God.
But their budget for it's insane. But we do want to get another very large church. That one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
We really want to get them. And not because we want the money aspect of it, because we'll charge them the same as we charge everyone else.
It would be really good to have the continuity between all of the church security.
Well, they have a Facebook
teams.
group apparently. All the church security groups in the valley. There's like a private Facebook group, which
That's
I
cool.
just got an invite to. I need to go.
Well,
And
I'm
do
like so resistant to joining ours.
you would be over prepared compared to 99% of people.
I'm so resistant to joining ours.
Yeah.
Probably need to do it though, dude. It's like a calling. You know what I mean? You have your church calling.
I don't know.
But yeah, so
They
that,
need
that
good
popped
people,
up.
dude, to freaking have their stuff in.
I'm
in
not
their
saying
ear.
you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I will say this: all the big churches out here have like legit like
Yeah, they do.
tactician savages running their actual team. So like one of the churches we work with is so tuned up already that when they came to us, they're like, "All right, what do we need to change? What do we like? What are some like tips?" And I'm just like, "Thanks for the money, I guess." we'll just keep running scenarios and getting your people prepped and make sure their grips. And
Yeah, at that point, it's just exposure.
Does the sim shot, does the simulator, the programming of the sim, can you call the programming company that makes the programs and actually do a legitimate church scenario?
We have church scenarios.
Oh, so
already.
they're in there already.
Oh yeah, I think we have like almost 100 of them.
Oh wow, didn't even know. So that thing's so diverse then.
It's crazy, dude. We have, I'm like not even kidding you. Me and Nick have like tried to buy crack on it before because there's drug deals and narcs. So we're like on there and just like, hey man, you got any crack?
You do like a vehicle operations class on that thing? Like so in and around a vehicle, because that's where a lot of situations.
So we have
like a road rage situation. Can you walk yourself through that?
We have like 40 or 50 carjacking ones where we put our people in an actual like a chair
seated
while
position,
they're holstered, and then we press play and we're like go, and they're just like and they have to like try to get like up or gunfight from seating or seated position.
How cool would this be? Hear me
Get
out.
a half a car in here.
Half a car in there on like a dolly situation.
We've legit, me and Nick have been talking about that for almost 4 years.
We've talked about it before.
Just the front seat, dude.
That's
the
it.
two
That's all
front
we need.
seats with seatbelts where the seatbelt's on so you can manipulate the seatbelt
Yeah.
and draw like, dude, oh
it
my
would
gosh.
cost so much money to do that, get it on casters, get it completely
No,
gutted.
No,
Would
dude,
it,
no way. You could
dude?
get one from Copart or something
For
cheap.
sure. Get like a $200 junked
Bro,
out
get
car.
an old ass, a nice car that's not all dented up and shit. Get like a legitimate Crown Vic because it's a decent size in the front seat.
Cut the engine
Cut the
compartment off.
motherfucker out. Cut
Take a
everything.
Sawzall?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking like firewall and
No,
like
no,
back
no, no,
seat.
no.
Cut the
Have the
engine
whole
compartment
thing.
off.
Have the whole thing. Keep the engine compartment. Take that
Why?
motor, train, everything out of
Cover.
it, and it's just a front
you
end
need to be able
shell.
to keep it in here. Cut the engine compartment off.
It'd have to be sitting in back. We couldn't keep it in here.
Yeah.
There's not enough room.
Well, that's our goal. Then we got to figure out a building that's big enough for all of us.
We get that done for you pretty easily.
Bro, that would be so cool.
I mean, I'm sure I could even.
It would not be that much money. You just got to find the right car.
Pull all the glass out of it
Oh yeah.
and have legitimate seats, seat belts, steering wheel, the whole 9 yards. And dude, that vehicle operation classes are some of my favorite classes ever to do.
Yeah, dude, they're super fun.
Savesies.
And it exposes
I did one, dude,
you.
with Chris Costa one time. Oh my goodness, Costa Ludis. And there we got the Crown Vics. They actually ran. They were overrun, so that they mileage out. I'm not going to say the department that we got them from because I was a part of that department at one point in time. And we got the cars.
People can figure that one out.
And the motor.
I wonder where.
The motor pool guy said, "Hey, these cars need to come back the way that you guys got them.
They got shot up.
They got fucking shot up, unfortunately. However, that class was so dynamic. Running vehicles, right? In the vehicle, doing J turns, and then jumping out of the vehicle, finding cover and concealment and engaging targets with guys with loaded rifles in the car. It was incredible. Dude, it was wild. But I learned so much.
Yeah.
Dude, cars are like, it's where if shit's gonna go down, it's gonna be while you're driving, most likely. Like
for you.
Yeah, no shit.
So true.
Hey, I have a great in-car camera, man. And if it does go down in the car, it's going to be
You know who else had an in-car
all on
camera?
film.
That guy in Portland who got all pissed off at the Rose Parade and drove through the parade.
That shit was crazy. No, but I think that's something that we're missing here. We need a vehicle operations class.
We do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We need to do that. But I mean, obviously, we got to make sure that the glass is pulled out of the cars because that leaves a mess on the range.
We could just take it to double tap and shoot it out and clean it up.
Well, no,
The
but you
glass,
still
dude,
don't
the
want to shoot
glass.
the
No,
glass out.
we'd lay tarps down and stuff. We'd be smart about
Just
it.
take the glass out. That way you don't have to clean up glass.
I want to shoot through glass. It's so fun.
We could probably get one donated too from one of the wrecking yards that they're just going to crush anyhow.
I mean, didn't you have one set up for
I had
what's
two.
his face?
I had two. One of them, I'm glad I didn't have to end up taking that class anyways because it was a S10 pickup truck, and all I kept thinking was like, "Oh, how am I
get in
How
there?
am I going to get in and out of this fucking thing while I'm supposed to be shooting?" Is going to be like, "Hold on."
That's why Crown Vics are like they're a decent sized car. They played a huge role in law enforcement for so long because they are just so roomy inside,
Yeah.
you know, and they actually perform. The car does real well, but they're big in the front seat, so you can get in and out with your gear, and you know you can manipulate the seat belts. You can open the door. Like that's what we need to find for SimShot, and then cut it in half.
Totally. I don't know if
I'm working on this.
taken enough vehicle courses to instruct it.
No, but you get somebody out. We got to host somebody.
Yeah, but I could also figure it out.
I'm sure you could.
I could figure it out.
I don't know. Those classes are some of my best. And,
I've never
the
taken
night
one.
classes.
I've never taken one. I've done some vehicle operation stuff like
low light, no light
in the
is,
military.
Never done low light vehicle. I would do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And I've never done vehicles that were running. So I've never had the luxury of driving up, having to be smart enough to be like, put it in park and get out.
Yeah,
Like
it was wild. That was a wild class.
Yeah.
And it was full too, dude. There was a lot of students. We had 6 cars.
Whatever happened to classes being full? I remember taking classes all the time when I was even younger, in my mid-20s.
It's crazy.
Full.
That's how I met Kyle. You know, Kyle Gentry with Combat Absolute. I met him at classes that I paid a ton of money to be at, that I probably shouldn't have been in because I wasn't law enforcement, you know what I mean? But that's how I met him, through those big classes like that.
Interesting.
And dude, they'd have 25 students, maybe more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they run them
huge.
deep.
High round count, 1,000 round count, 1,000 rifle, 500 pistol.
2 day.
Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
1,500 rounds total in
I think
one day?
I think I'm gonna take his gunfighter.
2 day?
Should.
Rifle?
Mhm.
It's a fun class.
Yeah, it's in May.
It's so fun watching everybody's gear fail.
Oh my God. The guys that have no clue.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the products that they decide to buy.
Yeah.
Like, you learn a lot about your gear in a high,
Yeah, when you shoot
in
1,000
that
rounds.
environment. So you're in the summer, things are really warm. You're high round count, and you're shooting in positions that introduce malfunctions to your gun. Like if you're shooting your gun kind of in a prone position, but the ejection port is down to the ground, you can introduce a lot of malfunctions on the firearm. And it's cool to see people actually try to work through the scenario, or to see how bad or good their gear is.
I think my favorite is when people get cans and they just throw the can on.
And then blow them off the end of their gun.
Well, they shoot them off, or I've only seen that happen once.
Because they're over
I saw that.
They're just over under gas, so the bullets are just not ejecting where they want them.
It's crazy though, because weird things can happen, dude. You can have a primer discharge from the casing and get stuck under a trigger group. Nobody can figure it out. They don't know what the fuck's going on with the gun. You know what I mean? So it's you got to work through those problems. No matter if you get the gun back in battery, the trigger still's not working.
I told you about the Daniel Defense, right? I ran it in a 2 December class, and Kyle's like, "You're popping primers." Everyone's like, "You're popping." I'm like, "I'm not popping primers."
I was there on that class.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
And I popped it open, and there was no primer. And I was like, there's no primer spot. This gun is just not working.
It was I think it was ammo, wasn't it? Didn't we figure out it was ammo?
Yeah, I think ammo could have played a role in it.
I had a gun go down in that class.
Did you?
And you always bring, if you're going to be doing, if you're going to pay the money, and you're going to be at
you need to bring a couple rifles.
You should bring, or at least a lower. But you should bring 2 rifles. Matter of fact, I had a very expensive rifle go down in that class, and it was from debris, and it was an ambi rifle, and there was a little pebble that I could not get unlodged from a piece of the gun. So you get to learn your gear.
Yeah.
You get to learn,
Well,
and then you get to
it's
work
the only
valuable.
real way to learn your gear is to run it.
To run it hard.
So those classes, that class, if you take that class, I'll take that class.
I'll take that
Yeah,
class.
Mike and I think we're going to take it.
I'll take it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll take it. Only on one condition, and Kyle, if you listen to our podcast, which I don't think you do, but if you do, I don't want to demo everything because it adds extra stress to me.
Everybody's looking at you.
Well, he's always just like, "Jeremy, come on." And I'm like, And I know it's because he knows I'm like, I understand the drills. I know what he's teaching already. I've taken all his classes. And I know it's like, I can do that.
Dude, anytime you can get out there, that's why I take those classes with you. Like, hey, man, can I jump in this class? Even if it's a beginner's class.
I
Bro,
love
I love it. Like, it's just, you get to hear everybody in the class that really, it's awesome. 1, that they're there. 2, they don't know anything, so they're learning something.
Yeah.
And then when the moment that you see the students' eyes, like, oh shit, it clicks.
Yeah.
The class, that just makes it, for me, when I'm out there, I get to see that, and it's just cool.
Well, and it's like, there's like, oh yeah, dude, I just love it so much. I still love taking intro to classes. Like, if I have a new great instructor come to town and they're only teaching beginner pistol, I'm fucking definitely taking that.
Yeah.
Like, Tactical has cheat code to shooting 1. There was nothing in that class where I was like, wow, this is a very difficult drill. It was very
But it's
easy.
just fun to be out there. And then you're out there with like-minded people, get to talk to people.
Yeah.
For me, it's like an opportunity also being in the space that I'm in the guns. I get to be like, hey, maybe, try out this up Lula, like that last class of yours. It was fucking freezing cold. Everybody's trying to jam mags because it was a high round count for that beginner class.
Dude, those up Lulas you can't not have one.
I know. And so I
even have one. I just don't use it.
I shared it with a couple of people, and they're like, what the hell? I've never even seen one of these before. It's the greatest tool
Which is
ever.
crazy because Glocks come with mag loaders.
Yeah,
but they're shit.
This thing is way better.
They are way better.
Yeah.
Dude,
but,
my youngest son can push down.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I believe you. He can grip it and rip it.
Yeah. I hand him the bullet. I give him everything. I set it up. And
He's not picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh, no. He woke up this morning. So check this out. No, you're going to hear it.
We really don't need to go.
No, we're going. It's super fucking funny. He woke up this morning and the first thing he said was, my neck hurts. And me and Eric were like, what do you mean your neck hurts? He's like, my neck hurts. And he was pointing at his jaw. And we were both like, what's wrong with your neck? What's wrong with your neck? And he's just like,
yeah, he popped a morning wood.
Yeah, he's like, my neck hurts. And I was like, holy shit. Why did he correct it?
Why
I was
he
like,
calling it his neck?
I don't know. But I was like, that's totally fine. I'm sorry your neck hurts, buddy. And I just walked away.
It is funny, dude. I would say raising sons, like, I'll comment on this. Like when they deal with getting, like, when they get like little woodies or whatever, and they don't know what's going on, it like bothers them.
Yeah.
It's so funny, dude. It is so funny because they're just like, what's going on? And they're like freaking out, trying to figure it out. Like, this is different. I don't like it.
Fix it.
Yeah, who deals with that? You or the wife?
Jordan is most of the time is like, you need to go talk to your son. I'm like, why? And she's like, okay, it's gonna go away. I promise.
Stop thinking about it.
This is normal. At some point, you'll like it.
Yeah. Don't worry, things are working. Yeah, his neck hurt, and I started laughing my ass off, and I was just like, all right, I'm out of here.
His neck hurt.
My neck hurts.
You should show him a picture of a fucking clam.
Yeah. So there you go. He'd probably just be like, hammer, smash.
Oh man, it is funny though. Like
That's
having to
hilarious.
like teach young kids about like their bodies.
Yeah.
It's just such a, like, you're not ever really ready for it. Like when that comes along, you're just like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I wasn't
even
trained
if it-
for this, but I'm going for
Even
it.
even the simple stuff, dude. Like my oldest, I'm like, hey, clean your hair, and he's just like, well, I know how to get soap on it, and I'm like,
The water gets.
I'm like, okay, and I was like, clean your hair. I mean,
Oh,
mind you,
man.
he's 8,
Oh yeah.
so he like, it's like, hey, go shower, and he's like, okay. But it's always like, hey, you're gonna wash your hair tonight, and Erica will be like, I'll go wash his hair. And I think part of her wants to, like, you know, that's her son.
Still be
She wants to
mom.
still be mom. But at the same time, I'm just like, hey, wash your hair. And he's like, okay, how? And I'm like, will you put soap on it? He's like, I know how to put soap on my hair. And I'm like,
so
game over then.
yeah, do the opposite to get it off.
Yeah. And it's just like, what's the problem here? Like, I don't understand. And it's just like that disconnect in the two
Yeah.
steps. That's just, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's your malfunction, child? So I usually just go, well, figure it out. And I walk away.
My kids, they used to hate it when I gave them baths because I would like get them all lathered up and whatnot, and then I would just take like a bucket and just dump it on them.
Yeah. They're just like,
They think I was like waterboarding them.
yeah, dude.
I'm like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and like softly gentle. I'm like, I can get in here. I'm gonna get you clean. You guys can play for a while. I'm out. Like, I don't want to hang out with you guys in the bathtub.
Yeah.
God.
that's funny, dude. My neck hurts.
Oh man,
I'm
that
gonna
is
try to
funny,
use that.
What
Yeah,
else we got
that's
going
comical.
on, man?
Airplanes are falling out the sky.
dude. Yeah, man, what is going on with the FAA? I guess it's not the FAA. It's more just like aviation in general.
FAA.
Still the freaking most safe traveling you could ever do.
That's
I
true.
don't want it.
You don't want to what? Fly?
I don't want to fly.
It's scary, man.
You are leaving your life in somebody else's hands.
I will say
and
this,
you hope
like,
that they have enough hours.
I've flown a lot in my life, and it's only been recently that I think about it now, where I'm like, is this it?
Yeah, I saw a meme that was like, it is now fully acceptable to clap when you land.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys see the video of the Vancouver crash? I think it was Vancouver, right?
Yeah, dude, the Delta crash.
Yeah, like literally just like hit the ground, the tire dropped, and then it just toppled.
I mean,
For
something
one,
was wrong before it hit the ground,
so-
though, because it hit the ground.
I would like to
hard.
see the weather report on that, like the sink rate on that
It was
airplane.
it was crazy.
like I have a little bit of aviation experience. I had my pilot's license for quite
You
many
did?
years. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just like 182, but I had a tumor.
Learn something new
yeah,
every day.
so I should go back and get
That's one of my goals, actually,
get
is to get my
cleared.
private pilot's license.
just
I just need to get a medical and I need to do a check ride and I can go back. I wouldn't feel comfortable because it's been so many years. I'd like want to get some lessons again.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff that's changed laws wise since I've had my license before. But
Did you have a plane?
we actually had a 3-person profit share on a plane and it was the worst idea ever.
Yeah.
Never will do it again.
Yeah.
So it was like a 3-man scenario where you
Yeah.
had 3 ownerships, one PMI, like a guy for mechanic,
Yeah.
and then another guy was a pilot. But when you
Whatever.
share a plane like that, it never comes back the way you left it. I would always leave it topped off with fuel. I would never get it back in the plane with topped off. So it was arguing all the time.
Yeah.
And you're sharing all the expenses. One guy, it's just
It's a mess.
crazy. It's a mess. Better just do it yourself. But aviation has gotten so expensive now. Since COVID, planes have gone crazy like everything else. But and then maintenance is expensive. Not
just
on like a 182 or a 172.
Some of these small aircrafts are cool though, dude.
They
like
are
these
cool.
Cirrus,
Yeah, the SR-22s and stuff. Yeah,
dude. They've got jet propelled parachutes, like entire airframe parachutes.
yeah. So
They've got it's got a return to home. So like, let's say you're riding along with your husband and he's the pilot, or your wife and she's the pilot, right? And like she dies and you don't know how to fly a plane. And all you have to do is like hit return to home. It'll find the nearest airport, take you back to it, and land the airplane on its own. And if it can't find an airport within an acceptable range, it'll just be like, pop the chute, and it'll find an acceptable area for you to go over. You pull a thing, and it literally, a parachute just floats the whole aircraft down to the ground. It's really cool.
Yeah. So aviation, I mean, honestly, like, it doesn't take a lot to get into aviation. Like it's 40 hours is the minimum for a private pilot. And
yeah, it's not a lot.
So I did air and ground school congruent. I went to an actual school. It was actually, out of Sacramento. It was at Executive Airport. I think it was called Executive Flyers is where I did it. I don't believe that they do the ground school anymore. I think they still do the air school, but I did them both together.
Yeah.
So I'd go in the morning to a class in school, in the classroom setting, which was all the book work. And then they teach you everything. And then you'd go up with your instructor and then you'd apply everything that you learned in this, obviously in the classroom setting,
right.
But then obviously you'd have real hands-on. And if you ever want to do it, like you could go to any of the local airports, you're going to have to do like a 182 because you're a big boy, or something with some horsepower because of the weight, because you and the other person and fuel. But you could rent like back when I was doing it. I want to say
that was the funniest thing. He's like, yeah, you're gonna need a bigger airplane.
Yeah, you're gonna need a big boy airplane. You might actually need a jet. I'm not sure.
And he lost it. I was holding it in there.
Oh man.
But I think back in those days, I was renting an airplane wet. They rent them wet with fuel. It was like $108 an hour.
That was
So, but if
really
you
good.
want to get into it, you can go do an introductory flight for like $55.
Yeah.
So, give you 1 hour.
Might be $100 for you. You need a bigger plane.
Probably 200 for you, big boy. Because of fuel.
Sorry, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it
That
over
was
here.
so fucking funny.
Oh my
It just
god,
kept
dude!
going.
He just kept talking. I was like, "Are we not going to acknowledge this?"
Fuck. I have zero desire. I don't like
That was
flying
so
at all.
funny.
I don't think humans are meant to be that far up in the air.
No, but dude, there's so many things. So like, I still stay up on like a lot of the crashes. I watch a lot of YouTube videos that
But you're-
immediately when something happens like this, they start dissecting
Right.
things
Yeah.
like other airline pilots. So I study those. I actually get notice some airman reports. Like I get all kinds of things that I'm still signed up for because I'm generally curious about aviation. I'd like to get back into it at some point and do that. But
yeah, that
something
Delta
doesn't
flight though,
make
you're
sense.
right. Like that,
like the sink rate on
it
that
was coming
it hit
weird.
hard.
Like because what's it called? Glide, right?
Well, you're on a glide slope when you're coming
glide
in.
slope.
But most of those things, like, so
But
the
that's like how
ALS
much. That's how much linear travel you have compared to vertical fall.
But so,
right?
like, I don't understand. Like, so some of the reports said that the runway was clear and dry, which obviously it doesn't look like it is in the video that I saw.
You can see snow
well,
and
you
ice
can see
blowing
snow
on it.
around, but the weather was not like the visibility was fine.
But what was the weather right at that moment? Was there gust of winds? There's all kinds of things that play into landing it. And was he manually flying the aircraft, or was it being glided in by ALS? There's some of those times their hands
it
off
looked like
flying
it was coming down way too fast.
so they can program it in, and it's actually flying itself into the.
But dude,
basically, it's controlled.
But that video, like, it looks like it was
The sink
losing.
rate was
It was
crazy.
losing altitude way faster than it was.
If you look at he smashes the
Ground.
rear
Landing gear just
landing gear, and it just
and then
sheared
and then
off,
he rolled.
and then it was out of control at that point.
I like
I'm
the video
amazed
of the
nobody
guy.
died. It is a miracle no one
was
died.
buckled
I
up.
mean, those airframes are pretty strong for being aluminum hull.
How often do you? I mean, that thing exploded. How often do you hear about something like that where not one?
Well, it actually didn't explode. So what happened is
the fuel ignited.
Well, it did. The wing got ripped off.
Yeah,
which obviously there's going to be sparks involved in that. There's going to be all kinds of things tearing away from that airframe,
Gas
and
lines.
it just was spewing fuel, and it did go, but it was. Obviously, they don't have they have extinguishers probably in the engines, I would imagine, on those. However, that was it wasn't like a huge, massive fireball.
Yeah.
The initial was like boom, and then it went upside down, inverted, and then they were there pretty quickly
because we were inverted
to put the fire out. But they were lucky, honestly. Anytime that you're getting flipped over, like obviously that car wreck that I came upon, I mean, you should be wearing your seatbelt. You should be following the commands of the flight attendants and shit. And keep in mind, I mean, that's going to keep you obviously in your seat best that you can.
Speaking of aviation conspiracies, do you remember a few years back when everybody started saying that that the aviation command for you to like put your head between your knees was it was like a conspiracy theory that got popular. It was so that you would have a higher probability of dying.
Never even knew that.
Yeah, that was like going around the internet.
But I've heard that
about
cars too, that they put like the headrests in to break your neck.
Which is crazy. Like, that's not even remotely true. The headrest protects you against breaking your neck.
Dude, a lot of people on the podcast, like people in my comments after I shared that and they read it, they're like, dude, did you know that you could pull the fucking headrest out of the car and use it to break the window? Well, I don't go around carrying my fucking headrest. If I was in the car maybe and I needed to break it, but
that is true. You can.
I mean, have you ever seen anybody do that?
It's not nearly as easy as people would. It would be far more advantageous. Look, how hard did you hit that window with your knife?
Fuck, dude, hard.
All the headrest is a metal rod. There's nothing special about it.
And it's soft on one end.
And it's soft on one end. It is going to be as, if not more difficult, using the headrest than it would be using a knife.
I don't even know how I could wield that thing like and get a good swing on it without like.
That is a thing that you can access in the circumstance where you have nothing else, but it is by no means ideal.
I don't know, but the aviation thing, that's a weird situation. There's a lot of weird situations. How a fucking military Black Hawk could fly.
Yeah, that was a weird one, dude.
I mean, I guess if they were under nods, if anybody's ever worn nods, because I put my nods on once to drive around in the car at night, and it's fucking like on property.
Disorienting.
Yeah, it is. It's like tunnel vision. It's very, even running night vision. I've
never ran like white phos, like because I know
that's
the images.
what I have white phos.
It does, so I know it's very different image. But like when I was in, we used monotubes, some binoculars.
Yeah, so
it was green.
Yeah,
and the hardest thing about it was it flattens everything out. So
you can't tell the depth
perception.
There's zero depth perception, which is why they try to teach you on the monos to actually not just look through the tube. They want you to open both eyes, because even though it's low light, your uncovered eye will still pick up some of that depth, and your brain will like stitch the images together.
Dude, there's so much. But in
binos, that's got to be tough.
There's such a training curve on that, and then some of the best pilots ever, right? When they're flying under nods, like, dude. This shit's very difficult to do, dude, especially in a helicopter.
The 160th guys, those guys are BA, dude, like hardcore.
You know, Sherry's dad was a CW5. Like this dude he had a lot of fucking hours in a helicopter.
Really?
He was a helicopter pilot. Like this guy is decorated. Like in
Army?
In the Army. And
he 160th?
I don't know exactly I don't know exactly what group they were in, but they were dude. He was shot down and killed in Iraq. Working for Blackwater, Little Birds.
Her dad was?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Arthur Laguna. There's a book written about him by the brother. So the brother is like a notorious helicopter pilot also.
Really?
And still flies to this day for EMS. Like the dude, they're badass. The whole family, they're all helicopter pilots, all the guys.
Wow.
Yeah, they're badasses. Anyhow, but doing it at that level when you're flying under nods, it's got to be extremely difficult.
I mean,
I don't know why they were even doing that in that airspace, which is
were they on night vision?
Beyond me. There's rumors that they were.
Like I know,
flight.
Because the avionics on Blackhawks are so fucking advanced.
EMS pilots, like air ambulance pilots, dude, they'll fly under
local
nods.
Police and sheriff,
they fly under nods all the time.
Under nods all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Because like with EMS, it's weird. Like they have to go in between like VFR and IFR. Because, like, let's say they get called out to a scene, right? Like, they may not have time to file an IFR flight plan.
Most of the time, they're all like
right?
Most helicopters are always flying in this environment,
VFR.
like VFR, visual
Correct.
flight rule.
But there are times where they can switch over to IFR. So like if they're doing a transfer from a known place to a known place, they can file a flight plan. But like a lot of times
when I was,
you'll call them out and then they've got to go from that scene to a hospital and it's all visual.
and there's other things too.
At
Like
night.
there, like in general aviation, you could just fly around in certain scenarios and under certain things.
Yeah, just fly.
Whenever I was personally in the aircraft and I was flying by myself or even with an instructor, after I soloed, I would always file for flight following.
Yeah.
Because you have a second set of eyes on you. You know, you're dialing in the airplane, you're getting all your shit going. And if you're flying from, this airport to that airport or just flying around in general, I'm dialing up ATC and being like, hey, this is
you're not on IFR, but you're basically being followed and given flight
They're letting you know what's going on. Like they're telling you people and they're telling you,
but it's based off of like
to this IDIN.
Right.
And as soon as you push that IDIN button, you're like, boom, a big bright flash on their screen and they're following you around. And they're telling you, hey, look out for this, look out for that, stay out of this, climb and maintain,
doesn't that,
whatever.
If you do flight following though, doesn't that like then implement some restrictions on like you can't just go wherever you want to go?
Yeah, so they're going to tell you. So you're telling them, hey, I'm going to be doing some training and I'm going to be over on this area.
Okay.
Just whatever. And they're going to vector you, right? They're going to give you headings on the compass.
Headings, altitude, speed, all that kind of stuff, right?
And they want you to maintain those. Now you can, in general aviation, you don't need to do that.
Right.
You can just go out and fly around.
And not tell anyone.
And you just need to stay out of certain airspaces and stay, there's minimums and maximums. And
it's what, 500 feet, right? I think.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think it's like 500 feet above structure and 1,500 feet separation, like clouds and shit and other things. I mean, it's been a long time, but it's like the aviation, it's still really safe. But what I don't understand is why in that area, it's such a populated, dense traffic of helicopter traffic,
right?
Standard aviation, commercial traffic. Like, dude, that's a weird situation.
I'm so fascinated by it, dude. I want to be a pilot so bad. Like just private. I don't want to do it commercially, but I like
it's a lot. It's a lot to get to the commercial.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot.
I thought about it for a while because there's a lot of like 0 to hero programs where like Delta or whatever, they'll hire you and then basically put you all the way through from 0 to commercial pilot.
From what I've heard from some of my friends that are actually legitimate pilots. So I have one that's a legit Lear pilot, works for like rich guys that have
he's a private jet pilot.
Yeah. And he's on call, lives in Arizona, and he's typed out in a lot of different aircrafts, like the Honda jet, G series jets, citations, like all kinds of stuff. And he's got a little bit of helicopter experience, but just talking with him in different scenarios and shit like this, it's like, bro, how could that happen?
Yeah.
Everybody perished on that. That's like a huge disaster, right?
Yeah.
And anytime that there's it was
100% mortality on that Black Hawk versus that is a commercial.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
It was commercial, right?
It was commercial. Yeah. So both 100% fatality in it.
Were they Russian ice skaters?
A lot of them on there. Yeah. I heard they were ice skaters. I mean, cause there's so many
ice skaters.
There's so many.
Was it a private jet or was it?
No, it was a commercial.
Oh,
I forget what airlines it was. It was operating underneath the airline flag, but like subbed out to somebody else.
Got it.
And a lot of carriers do that.
Yeah.
The smaller jets, but
like a net jet kind of thing.
Yeah. But on a big flag, like United, Delta, whatever. But they just fly under.
They
like,
charter it
out.
Yeah.
So that's interesting on that. But at the end of the day, like there's so many fucking planes. Like you could go on flight 24 right now
insane.
And see how many airplanes are just in the sky.
Oh, flight radar?
Period. Yeah, flight radar.
That's such a cool nap.
But the system is very antiquated.
Yeah.
Like the systems that we're using, and there's all kinds of new laws, like the ADS out and in. It's supposed to be able to tell you where every plane is, and that's like supposed to be a thing now.
Yeah.
And with as much technology as we're still using, like scope radar and all kinds of weird stuff, should be using GPS, in my opinion. Like I think it's probably more
accurate.
What's interesting is then they released like a conversation between the Black Hawk and.
I don't know that they were communicating, to be honest with you.
Well, they said they had eyeline. They said there was.
Look. ATC told them from the audio that I heard that was leaked out or what I've listened to, they were told to go behind the jet, and they flew right into the fucking jet. They like flew up underneath of it.
Yeah, but what
That's
I heard
wild.
was when they were communicating with the pilots, they were like, "Do you have eyes on this plane?"
Oh
And they
yeah,
were
do you
like,
have visual?
"Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, we see it."
And
Yeah,
who
it's
knows?
weird.
You know, they might have been on an approach where they were. Who knows if they even saw them? If the jet saw them, like you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, because there's
Yeah.
a ton of different things going on. Like at that
Super
level,
sad.
there's a lot of lights. There's a lot of there's a lot of things happening. Like the one thing that I remember 100% sticking out, because there's certain hours, how many landings, how many takeoffs you have to do during the day, during the night before you can get fully rated. And I would remember the instructor always saying, scan. You must scan. And it's off center viewing too, because you might be looking straight and you might not even see it. So you're off center view. If you just like kind of put your eyes over to the left or to the right, you might be able to see it right there where you didn't see it when you're ahead. So there's a lot of things, a lot of variables that play in it.
Have
If
to
it might
take
not
into
be
account.
just right there,
Yeah.
so.
All right, boys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I got to go pick up my kids from school. So
I'm right behind you.
yeah, man.
I'm going back to work.
Episode 25. Are you? Oh yeah, you are. No Quarter Pod on all the things. Follow us, like us. Please help us get over that thousand sub hump.
Man, we were all over the place today. It's good.
It's all good. Dude, aviation's fun. I could talk about it forever. So, all right,
We out of here.
we out.